You're listening to Following On with me, Neil Manthorp, alongside Double Ashes winner Steve Harmison. And a reminder, the live cricket continues throughout the summer as we'll bring you live ball-by-ball commentary of India's tour of England for our overseas listeners on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Now then, Shubman Gill has been named the new India captain as they announce an 18-man squad for the Test series against England, which is live for our overseas listeners on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. And I'm delighted to say, by popular demand, Sharda Ugra, renowned Indian cricket writer and author, has joined us to confirm that when we spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, Sharda, we indicated that Shubman Gill was an absolute shoo-in for the Indian captaincy. And after we recorded the programme, I saw that a few people were punting Rishabh Pant, and Jasprit Bumrah had his backers, but it was always going to be Shubman, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. The selectors seem to have sort of zeroed in on him because of one of the things that we heard about was stability, saying that he just is a very regular and a stable guy, and this is a time of transition. And the way he sort of responded, what we heard stories about how the way he responded in the dressing room during series, how he was able to even make his point across as a fairly young player. And the fact that he is seen as a batsman who is just coming into his own, and that's the reason why they seem to have gone for him over the choice of Rishabh. The KL Rahul was kind of like an outside dark horse kind of pick, and Bumrah. Had Bumrah not got injured, everybody in Australia in that last Test match, everyone thinks he would have been captain, but that ship has sailed now.
John, I look at this squad as 18 names in front of me, and I mean, I look at this with Rohit and Virat obviously retiring. Are there a batter short? I mean, there's a lot of bowlers, hell of a lot of bowlers. You've got Nia is probably going to play and bat at number 5. Ashwan is, untried, untested as a backup batter, and that really seems to be it. So, I mean, they've got heavy on bowlers, but are they a batter short, especially with the experience retired?
You're right in a way, Steve, because this is a very, very new batting lineup. I mean, I remember the last time I spoke, I said that KL Rahul was the only one with some experience and some kind of good returns in England. But there was Rishabh Pant as well. You don't think of Rishabh Pant as a batsman, but he's been actually our leading batter for the last 3 or 4 seasons around the time of his terrible accident. And so therefore, it's a very, very new batting lineup. But what happened in Australia is that we kept trying to plug the batting with these batting all-rounders, and then they want the 20 wickets to get. So I think they're trying to find a balancing act. What they've also done is that there's this parallel A tour, they call it the shadow tour, that's going on at the same time. There's 7 guys who will be playing who are on the A team that are on the Test team to England as well. There are backups actually. I think that there's a lot of backup of a backup kind of thing that's going on. I think they're taking a great deal of they're sort of counting on the fact that someone like Karun Nair, for example, has played county cricket. I've discovered that so has Sai Sudarshan, has played a little bit for Surrey as well. So they're using all these kind of clues maybe to see who's going to fit in best, and let's just throw everyone in, and maybe we'll come out with some superstars. I'm fairly confident that's going to happen.
I'm quite a voracious consumer of Indian media, and I have to say that, the cricket writing anyway. There's an awful lot of nonsense, clickbait rubbish that's written, and I was reading a piece the other day in which someone said it might be the weakest team to go to England for 50 years. I thought, what? That's a bit harsh. And I just wonder as well whether there's a sense of liberation in some ways that Rohit and Virat not there. And there's no criticism of them whatsoever. But we've seen it with other teams when the big names, the sort of the star magnets aren't there anymore. The younger players feel, in a sense, liberated. Do you think that might happen here?
I would think so, actually, because these are great players. Kohli is sort of an all-time great. you've heard about it. And clickbait is like, sort of think about Indian cricket like English football. That's the kind of volume of content that you're going to get. That's the degree of from good to absolutely crazy that you're going to get. So but it's possible. That's all that we are kind of thinking about, that look, hopefully this is going to be that kind of a tour. You get enough runs and you have the bowlers to get your 20 wickets, and you don't need to make, sort of, say in the early 2000s we were making 600 runs and 700 runs and saying now it doesn't matter, we're going to get 20 wickets regardless, we made so many. So there's a big change. We're playing with 5 bowlers pretty much, which is or bowling all-rounder / batting all-rounder. That was the big confusion that was happening in Australia. But I would say that you're right, that new people, a completely new and a young team. That happened around the time of in 2000, Neil, when post match fixing, a lot of the older players left, and suddenly all these young guys said, okay, now we are the seniors in the team, and then you had a new sort of chapter come through. So I'm fairly optimistic about this being the beginning, at least, of something fun and entertaining and good again.
You mentioned about getting 600 and 700. I mean, back in the day, it used to take 2.5. It used to take 2.5, nearly 3 days. Now it takes 4.5 sessions. So the way these guys play, and is there a worry? Bumrah's not captain. Ajit Agarkar has more or less, didn't say it, but he more or less indicated that Jasprit won't play in 5 Test matches. Mohammad Shami's not deemed fit enough. With Rohit and with Virat, which mentioned, aren't there. Do Indian supporters need to be patient with this group? And if so, who's going to stand up if God forbid you don't go into a Test match, India don't go into a Test match without Shami and Bumrah?
Indians, I think Indian fans are patient. But the people that are not patient is the television media. They'll kind of just pitch it up and go absolutely crazy. And you're right with what you said about Ajit Agarkar talking about Bumrah being available for maybe 3 Test matches. That's the figure that Bumrah has given them. If he's looked after in cotton wool and all, who knows? Who knows? It could be 4, it could be more. I mean, that's just me. I've got no extra information about this. But saying 3 is a conservative kind of an estimate. I think maybe they just want to get going quickly with as much of Bumrah makes his early impact, and then we'll take what England respond with in the Test matches ahead. So maybe they've looked at how the games are going to play out, the schedule, what the schedule is like. The bowling does look a bit thin on the ground, and Ravindra Jadeja, who's literally, he's like the backup and the holding kind of bowler. He's probably the oldest. He is the oldest guy in the team at the moment. So it looks very, very, very raw and a very new team. But I think Siraj is there, who's got a bit of experience. They've had good news from sort of good feeling about Prasidh Krishna and how he's developed. He's a left armer. I don't know whether you remember in 2007 when India came not expecting to do anything. I mean, there was just all kinds of. I should have actually pulled that piece out where someone said something ridiculous, and they in the English press, and the Indians won 1-0, and Zahir Khan and the Jelly Bean series, Zahir Khan and RP Singh had a great time. So it's that kind of, England gives you the opportunities for this kind of thing to happen because your conditions are so change every over, change every 10 minutes. So let's see how it goes. And I just wanted to remind you, in that series, we opened with Dinesh Karthik and Wasim Jafar, who are our best openers, who averaged, I think, 60. So anything is possible. Yeah.
Just 5 years ago, anybody that said you would pick a Test squad on the form of on T20 form was just be consigned to an asylum, and yet that's what's happening now. I've got a massive soft spot for Arshdeep Singh, and I just wonder if I don't know if he's going to play, but I mean, if he can swing the Duke's ball like he swings the white ball, I think he could be in for a pretty tasty series.
Yeah, so there's him and there's him and there's Prasidh, who are kind of like in competition with each other, and Prasidh's just slightly taller and we're hoping that then Arshdeep is. And I think Arshdeep's played a little bit of county cricket. I think he played a few games for Kent. I think so. So that's all the stuff that's coming together, and we are just we're optimistic. I think depends on who performs how in the nets. If there's India A performances that they can look at to see how's everyone looking, what kind of shape are they in, how's their batting going. Those factors may also come into play. We'll have new openers, and it'll be full of news. We can be pretty sure about that.
Yeah, you mentioned the new openers. Are we likely to see what's your take on what the batting order will be? Because I mean, I mentioned how I think there maybe is one batter short in an 18-man squad. I've got here Rahul as an opener here with Jaiswal, Sundaresan, Gill, Nair, then Pant, Richard Ajer at 7. Does that look as though what it's going to be at on first instance, or can you really afford the experience of K. Rahul going in first, opening the baton in England against a cheap ball? Because it moves, and you get K. Rahul early, and all of a sudden there's a lot of experience in that batting unit gone.
Yeah, that's sort of worst case scenario. Best case scenario is the other way around. KL Rahul's career goes from having incredible centuries to having a patch where nothing happens. So we're waiting for the incredible century in wherever he turns up to open. But what you're saying is the order that everyone's pretty much going with, which is Rahul, Yashasvi, I think Gill at 3. I'm again this is ridiculous because I've missed one batter right here. Pardon? Sundaresan, sorry. Sundaresan at 3, Gill at 4, Pant at 5, and then Karun Nair at 6. That's the conventional kind of wisdom that's going with it. And then you've got Prasidh / Arshdeep, depending on how they're doing, Siraj, Bumrah, and then you'll pick between Kuldeep or Ravindra Jadeja. I think I've got them all.
I think Harmy might be referring to Shreyas Iyer. In an 18-man squad, no Shreyas Iyer. What's he done wrong?
Just the kind of he had a bit of a skirmish with the selectors. I think last season or the season before that, and he was told to go back and play first-class domestic cricket, which he did. But they haven't picked him this time, and they've gone for younger sort of players. And I think Karun Nair will just feel everyone's really relieved that Karun Nair's got a chance back. Sarfraz Khan is the guy who actually has reason to complain. There's him and Ishwaran, who spent a lot of time in Australia, but didn't get a chance to play, even though the batting was dire. So there's in an Indian batting lineup, there's tons of people that have all they feel that they've been hard done by, and it's fair. I mean, the argument is logical, as is the response that you get from the selectors. Like, look, we can't pick 25 people, so
And now you've seen England play Zimbabwe. You've seen India's 18-man squad. Come on, prediction. Where do you think this series? Where do you think it's going to be won and lost, and who do you think it's going to be won and lost for?
What did I did make a prediction last time. I said something. I think I said something completely okay. Okay. Now I need to say this well, because people go crazy if I don't say India 2-1 or something like that. But I think we are looking at it's going to be 2-1 either way. It's going to be 2-1 either way.
You're expecting a lot of rain then?
Pardon?
I'm saying you're expecting a lot of rain, because I can't see any draws between these two sides. England don't play for a draw, and I look at this India side, and if they're going to score,
they don't play for a draw either.
Exactly. It's not 3-2 either way on it for me.
What's your prediction?
Mine's 3-2 either way. I think England win 3-2.
Okay, so then I'll say 3-2 either way too. That sounds good.
Okay, and just to finish off, the question for me is, are India underdogs? Are you making England favourites?
Yep, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be a really, really tough series for the Indians to compete. It'll be great because there's just everything is it's like an unwritten script, So, yeah, I'm looking at it in that way. I'm not looking at it like the sky is falling, So it's.
Sharda, I do hope you'll be able to spare some time to come on during the series, because sure. I mean, it is so mouthwatering, and to get your thoughts as we go along will be absolutely brilliant. But thanks once again for your time, and we look forward to next time.